What's up, collective? How are you doing? Hope you are doing well. All right, so I've been sitting here with this message, just pondering on what it is Spirit wants someone to know. I have four cards that came out of the deck that I was drawn to. Someone could feel depleted right now, energetically, physically trapped, physically depleted, physically exhausted. Now, this message is not going to reverberate for everyone, but who this message is for is someone who feels that you may be in a rut. You have a lot of demands on you. Okay. This could have to do with your work, home life, your workload, the demands on you as a partner, as a spouse. Um, but your physical body in itself feels exhausted. Okay. Now, when we have physical exhaustion, it is the first indication that our divine feminine aspect, whether you are male or female, and I'm actually picking up strong male energy in this reading, but it could definitely apply to my ladies as well, okay? But when we are physically exhausted, it is the first indication that our feminine aspect is feeling like she is on a leash, okay? The first indication that the feminine aspect is also tired. So the feminine aspect, the feminine soul is the inner flame, right? And when she is burning, when she is high in her energy, there is a communication between her and the masculine spirit, which is also a flame. Okay. The twin flames. Okay. So when the feminine aspect, the inner flame is low, then the physical aspect, which is upon, it is on it is on your physical body, which is your masculine spirit, then the physical body begins to get depleted. We've been kind of conditioned to keep pushing and keep working through that part of the process when really it is a sign that it is time to surrender, that it is time for rest, that it is time to give your feminine aspect, your inner flame, some restoration and some rejuvenation and some rest. Okay. So I have the leash here. Okay. So your feminine aspect is feeling constricted and restricted by your masculine aspect because your masculine aspect is working on overdrive. All right. Your masculine aspect has a lot of demands on it. Okay. Um, and you're exhausted. You're tired physically. For some, this may be showing up physically. Now you keep pushing through every day, the same thing, every day doing the same thing, every day being accessible to everybody who needs you or at least feel they need you, right? But in the meantime, you are neglecting yourself. Okay. So we have surrender. Okay. Now, the feminine aspect of someone in the collective is needing you to see the signs and recognize that the exhaustion that you're feeling is a need to recognize that there's time for a change, that there is a that this is the time to uh realign yourself and get back in order and back in sync. Okay. So there's a surrendering that needs to take place for somebody. Their masculine aspect needs to surrender to their feminine aspect who is feeling caged. And she's like running endlessly and not able to get anywhere, not able to get where she is trying to get to as it relates to your destiny, your purpose, your path, and her influence in that aspect of your reality. Okay. So We're going to look at this energy and see more about what spirit needs someone in the collective to know. I believe that the divine is wanting to assist you in bringing balance to this relationship between your twin flames, okay? Your feminine soul and your masculine spirit, all right? All right, spirit, tell us more. Give us more on leash. Now, this card says surrendering autonomy quietly and bending to emotional demands. Seek balanced relationships and set empathy limits wisely. All right. This is the thing. When the feminine aspect is not getting her rest or rejuvenation, she will limit her empathy towards the masculine. And this is when the masculine goes into this depletion. She will allow the masculine to hit a brick wall. I have I have lived and experienced this countless times until I learned to stop letting my masculine run away with himself. Okay. If you do that, your feminine soul will let you hit a brick wall. I mean, she really has no choice because you're not going within to listen to her. You're not seeking her. You're not putting her input and letting her input be the guidance that you allow your masculine aspect to be guided by. So she really has no choice but to let you hit the wall. All right. So somebody has hit an energetic wall. Okay. So clarify leash spirit. She's not going to allow for very long for this leash to be placed around her. Now, if you notice, this rope is lassoed around this woman's solar plexus. That is the flame. That is your inner flame. That is your inner feminine fire. Okay. So let's see here. Tell us more, spirit. Okay. Wow. That was a lot. Let's see what we have, though. We have the Two of Pentacles. Those are the two flames, okay? Soul and spirit, all right? We have the Ten of Wands. Burdens. There is a burden in this juggling that needs to be sat down. This is also bringing in the physical aspect. This is also bringing in the masculine aspect with the wands. There is a burden, okay? We have the Four of Swords. Not going within, okay? Feeling restless, feeling tired, a lot of anxiety. There's a burden here that someone is carrying. And you're trying to juggle it all, but your feminine aspect wants to help you, but she would need for you to take this reverse Four of Swords and turn it upright, okay? And turn it upright. Meditation, contemplation, rest, quiet time, considering what you are feeling within. What is your heart saying to you at this time, right? So someone is not doing that. You're trying to handle it all without your feminine aspects input. Okay. And then we have the Six of Swords here in reverse. And this is the stagnation. This is the troubled waters. This is the turbulence that you are feeling, that you are experiencing with the Eight of Swords in the reverse. This is the physical trapping. So this is the relationship between the feminine aspect and the masculine. The feminine dwells within. So they have to be in alignment. There has to be a reverence that goes both ways with this Two of Pentacles. um they have to surrender to each other, okay? And even more so, the masculine must surrender to the feminine aspect because she is the divinity. She is your deity. She is your divine essence, right? And she shares that with the masculine who is occupying this physical reality so that you can express that divinity in this physical reality, but you have to retrieve it from her. So if you're not going within and you're just kind of, trucking along, just doing what you've either been conditioned and told you are supposed to do as a human being, you're showing up in the ways, you're clocking in, clocking out, you're going to get the groceries and going to do this and da 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 da, da and you're handling responsibilities, but you're neglecting the most important part of yourself, and that is showing up in this exhaustion. I mean, look how exhausted he is. Look at his face. He ain't even combed his hair this morning. Okay. He went to work, hair all disheveled, under pressure, meeting demands. People need things from him. Everybody's looking to him. Everybody's pointing to him every day in, day out, all the time. There is this demand. But the issue is he keeps showing up for it. This is someone who works on the job and has a whole bunch of vacation time, but refuses to take it. Your kneecaps hurting, your ankles swelling, okay? Your appetite is fucked up. You work through lunch. This is that individual, okay? Clarify endless. The card says engages in a sisyphean task that never ends and freedom slips away. Break the cycle and seek variety in your task. The important aspect of this reading that I was hearing Spirit say before I press record is that someone is neglecting their right to freedom. That is the foundational uh, message that is coming across. You're neglecting your right. You're neglecting your right to be free. Okay. Clarify endless. The wheel of fortune. A cycle, an endless cycle. Okay. This could also have to do with money. This could also have to do with you feeling like, um, or you just being very money driven. And so it's work, 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 work all the time. We have the Hierophant in reverse. And then we have the Judgment card. Clarify the Hierophant. We have the Death. Refusal to change. You may see that there is something definitely out of whack with this cycle, with this constant working, and whatever you're working on in whatever capacity or area of your life that you are feeling depleted, that the depletion is showing up. I'm feeling like someone pretty much in every area, right? Like it's just an overall sense of more of the same thing. I feel like someone is seeing that there's something faulty about the foundation and you're honestly wanting to break out of the constriction, the confines, the structures. You're wanting to break out of that, but you haven't changed something. You keep showing up. So there is a refusal to change even though you can see that you're exhausted. Then we have the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. This Wheel of Fortune also is talking about your destiny and your fate. So you may be working, yes, very responsible, very consistent, very dependable. Although you are tired, you show up, but there's something on the inside of someone where you know that there's more to you. There's something else you want to do, something else you desire to do. But see, this is the desires of the heart that are going ignored. Okay, it's going ignored. And so there's this feeling of being stuck, okay, with the Six of Swords in reverse and the Eight of Swords clarifying it. There's this a very overall feeling of being stuck, okay? So someone sees that they're in a rut. And I feel like you also see that there is something more that you are destined to do. Now, whatever this is that you feel destined to do, you may not know how to go about doing it or executing it or establishing it with the reverse Hierophant. But that is not going to, like, there's a change that you must make before you will receive the way, the path, and this new beginning, before you can receive it, there is an immediate change you need to make as it relates to realigning and readjusting the relationship between your masculine and feminine self. Your tiredness, your exhaustion, that feeling of feeling depleted is a sign that something is imbalanced. Okay. Now, Spirit is saying that someone needs to surrender. The surrender card says facing overwhelming odds and clinging to futile resistance. Recognize the turning point timely and choose retreat to preserve strength. Outright, simply put, somebody needs rest. Somebody needs to give themselves rest. Whether that looks like a vacation, whether that looks like you using some of your vacation time, whether that looks like um hell, if you got your money together and everything's good, maybe it's time for, a little, I don't know. Maybe there's a decision that needs to be made as it relates to your scheduling when it comes to your work, how much you work. Okay. Maybe that doesn't look like any of that. Maybe it looks like you just making sure that on your weekends, you are giving yourself self-care. You are doing things that actually feed your heart, that are not just demands, that are not just responsibilities, but you're re-engaging and um you're kind of allowing yourself to get back into the things that you just enjoy doing, that you just simply enjoy doing. And I don't got no other reason as to why I do this one thing other than I enjoy it. Okay. Clarify surrender. The 10 of Cups in reverse. Tell me more. The 5 of Wands. There's a lot of things that you're not happy with. Okay. A lot of competition, a lot of conflict. I feel like this is the responsibilities and the demands. A lot of people pulling on you, looking to you. Ace of Cups. You're doing something that you don't love, because this even landed over here with the endless and the guy working, and the hierophant and all of that. You're doing something, you're very busy, but you're busy at something that you don't love, or you're busy at something that you no longer love, because that can happen too. Right? We start out in something, we start out in a career path, and I don't know, as we get promotions, as we evolve, as we keep growing, as we keep going, as we get older, we no longer feel like that's what we want to continue doing. But there's a conflict here. Clarify the 5 of Wands. There is a lot of demand on you. The 8 of Cups in reverse. So even though you don't love it, the confliction is you keep going back to something. You're not really surrendering it, even though it no longer brings you the same joy or pleasure that it used to. And because you keep returning back to it, then it is becoming exhausting for your masculine side. Okay. It's becoming exhausting. Clarify cage. The cage card says thinking you're moving forward and just orbiting in a vow loop. Ankles chained to metal, and your world is bigger than this ring. Tell us more. The 9 of Cups in reverse. This is something that your feminine soul, your feminine aspect does not desire. Your feminine aspect does not desire nor find pleasure in this cycle. Okay. All right. So the general unhappiness you feel as the physical self, the general exhaustion, the depletion you feel as the physical self is the physical manifestation of a misalignment between the masculine and feminine self of you. Okay. So you're not happy because she's not happy. You're depleted because she's tired of being on this rat wheel here. All right. And she is married to your masculine spirit. They are in a matrimony. All right. It's like having a spouse and living in a house and feeling trapped and don't even really want to be in a relationship no more, but you want to honor your vows. Right. That's what's going on for somebody in between their soul and spirit. So the friction that goes on in that house when you have two people living in a house who don't want to be there, but they want to honor their vows, the friction is what you are feeling in your body. Okay. So tell us more. Nine of Cups, King of Wands. I feel that yes, there are going to be some of my sisters who are going to relate to this. For some of you, for some of the ladies, this may be your spouse that feels this way, your partner, but there may be a man who really reverberates with this message. Okay. Um, King of Wands. Tell me more. Four of Pentacles. With this landing over here, I'm feeling like someone absolutely has done very well for themselves financially. You could actually take a break, but you're kind of a man in that sense for the male that reverberates with this. And this could honestly be a female as well, because you do have some women who are, very proud of their work ethic, that really like to, corporate type woman, boss woman, CEO, really driven. Okay. So that doesn't have to be just a male, but I'm feeling a male that's coming through right now for this message. You've done very well for yourself, but there is this aspect of you that feels like, even though I'm exhausted and I actually don't love this no more and I don't want to do it. And yeah, I have done well for myself, but I'm a man. I have to work. Like I can't be like just, you know, not working. I have to do this, even if it has nothing to do with work. I have to be available to everybody because I'm a man. I'm a leader. I'm the head. I'm this. You have done well for yourself as it relates to your finances. So if you got vacation time, this would be a good time to take it. This would be a turning point time to take it. Okay. If you don't have vacation time, this would be a good time to take one anyway, even if it's just a weekend, you know, one weekend out of the month. If you have your weekends off, whatever, like do something that you enjoy for yourself, just for you, because your inner femininity. And don't think high heels and lip gloss for my men. Like I'm not trying to paint that picture for you, but your inner soul is your feminine aspect, and she also governs your pleasure. She is rejuvenated when you do the things that please you. She knows you have to work. She knows the masculine is going to want to get out in the world and be busy. That's what the masculine is supposed to do. But the masculine needs to come in sometimes and remember his pleasure. Because sometimes the work you do is not always the thing that pleases you. Sometimes it's other things. But then we have been conditioned and trained to just work, 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 work until the thing that we work in no longer feels good to us because we're approaching it like work and not like pleasure. And that has to do with the condition. Okay. So in that case, in that particular situation where you're busy working, you're handling your responsibilities, you got a nice little savings, you got a nice little cushion, your family is taken care of, you've done what you're supposed to do, But you don't even link up with your homeboys and go play tackle football at the park no more like y'all used to. You don't even, you know what I'm saying? You stop taking your kickboxing classes and that's what you enjoy. You don't even get up with your fam and play spades no more. And that's what you enjoy. You're not doing something to feed that inner soul to balance out your life. Life can't be all about work, 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 work. And if you have reached a point with your work where you recognize that it really no longer feeds your heart, then that is a time that's an indication it's time to surrender that particular form of work and move on to something else that you feel pleased doing. So when you get up in the morning and say, I'm going to work, you would at least comb your hair and at least, you know, you can at least, and I'm using that metaphorically. I'm sure you're grooming yourself. But what I'm saying is, when you're getting up to do the things that you have to do on a regular basis, it's a have to because I love this shit. It's not a have to because, well, this is what I went to school for, and this is what I got a degree in. This is what I've been doing for 30 years, And then the whole time you're miserable. So yes, you're disciplined, but you're miserable. And that moves you into a rigid energy. And then life is not pleasurable, even though you have the savings account, even though you have the accolades in your work field, even though you have your family is all taken care of, right? Like you have done that. But your feminine soul is like, when we gonna get back to I don't know. I don't know, whatever it is you like, whatever it is you enjoy. When are we going to get back to feeding ourselves the joy? Or when are we going to stop doing this kind of work and actually do the thing that we feel we've always wanted to do and we're destined to do? Because we got the money now. We did that. Okay. We. But there is something that this wheel of fortune here there's more. There's more for someone. Clarify the Four of Pentacles. Balance. Your finances are balanced. hmm Now it's time to get the other aspect of you balanced. It's time to get the other aspect of you balanced. It's time to recover this Queen of Pentacles here. This feminine aspect. This is the aspect of you that you never take a leap of faith into. You don't delve into this aspect. Someone in the collective, your divine feminine soul needs you to release some form of limiting beliefs as it relates to maybe you even being embracing that you have femininity and redefining what femininity is for yourself. Okay? There's a unlearning as it relates to femininity and a relearning as to what it really is. Though you may be male, your soul is feminine. Your inner world is feminine. It's the spirit on us that is masculine. For some of us, it is the body of us that is considered male. But that doesn't have anything to do with masculinity. So there's a relearning, there's a relationship here, there's a realignment, but it would require you to unlearn and relearn these various aspects of yourself so you can actually have more balance, more joy. I really feel like for someone, your feminine soul is really wanting you to have more happiness. Yeah, because we have the Knight of Cups here in reverse. You're successful. You've done the things. You've been disciplined. You have the nice bank account, nice saved up, got a retirement plan, probably got your 401 in place, all of that. You're very driven with this King of Wands. You've been over the years, you've been very disciplined. But what about your heart? Oh, that don't matter because I'm a man. And man ain't supposed to be feeling this shit. Who? That's a lie. I ain't gonna say who told you that because I know where you got it from. That's a lie. And that's part of the problem, right? We don't like our men are not being told your heart matters, your emotions matter. But you have to know that first. It ain't about nobody else making space for you. You have to make space for your feelings. So if you haven't ever heard it, your feelings matter. You being unhappy, although you've been disciplined and you have been a provider and you've been doing these things, but if you're not happy, that matters. You ain't got to keep showing up to in that way just because that's what's expected of you while you neglect your heart space. For someone in the collective, that no longer serves you. Your soul is no longer happy with that set of circumstances, male or female. Okay. So there is a surrendering that someone in the collective needs to do. It starts with giving yourself rest. Why is rest so important? Because rest is divinely feminine. All right. Rest is divinely feminine. Self care is divinely feminine. That is how she shows up. She ain't designed to be no workhorse or no cattle. Okay. She's not even going to allow it because that undermines her royalty. And we all have this aspect in us, unless you're one of them soulless people. And I'm not here to judge that. But what I'm saying is if you have a soul, we all have that royalty in us. And she is going to require, because that is the matrimony between the soul and the spirit. Okay. So rest is the first thing you could do because that would allow you to clear and rest your mind and rest your thinking and rejuvenate your body. And put yourself in a particular frequency by sleeping, by napping, by meditating, by sitting quietly and just turning on some nice jazz music. Okay. Whatever you like, chill. Right? Pour your little whiskey or something. Damn. Chill. That allows you to hear her say, this will be a good time for you to go off and do da 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 because we always wanted to do that. This is a good time for you to slow down and let her whisper to you what should be next. Now, your masculine spirit has to choose to follow her direction. And if you don't, then you put her on this wheel here. You lasso her like this, and she will drop her energy, and you will end up feeling like this because you are going to do this one way or another. You know, I have been through this cycle so many times with my feminine soul and my masculine spirit. I've been through this cycle so many times. So I know what I'm talking about. These ain't just no cards. Okay. I'm not just talking from the cards. I know what I'm talking about. You will continue to feel like this until you do this. Okay. Because she's very, that doesn't honor me. And I'm married to you. Rest. Someone needs rest. Okay. Take it how it reverberates. But that is the first place to start because that is the first sign to her that you're ready to hear. You won't have all these people tapping on your shoulder, telling you what they got to meet. You got to get the deadline, got to get the paperwork. Did you file that? Did you do that? Did you come over here and do that? Got to go over there and do that. You won't have all of those voices, outside voices, which means her voice won't be muffled out. She doesn't want to be lost in the crowd. Okay. So give yourself some rest so you can make time to hear. You can make time to remember as she will bring up certain things. Your heart space. Remember the things that give you joy. Because by giving that to you, by doing that for you, you're giving her what she wants. And she wants pleasure. Okay? Let's get some alchemy of awareness. Alchemy of awareness, spirit. What is the collective who this message reverberates with? What do they need to know? What do they need to hear? What do they need to see? Oh, okay. Unparalleled. Unparalleled. You weren't born to compete. You were born to be. Yet comparison carves deep, tricking you into chasing a spotlight that isn't yours. Their curated version of reality was never meant to be your compass. Joy dims when your worth is measured in others' reflections. Drop the scoreboard and disengage from the illusion. What sets you apart is your magic. You were never meant to blend in. Hmm. See, yeah. Yeah. It's an inner magic about you that you're ignoring because you're basically living life like a regular human. Okay? You're doing the regular human thing, and your divine feminine soul is trying to get you to recover and reclaim the inner magic of you. There's something divine about you that needs to be recovered. But if you're just going to live like a human and just do the work thing, the 9 to 5 thing, the hustle and bustle thing, like, then it's going to keep her in this cage. And the depletion is going to be real if it's not already really real. The physical exhaustion is going to be very real. I think who I'm speaking to, it may already be, because you're at the point where it's time to make a change. Okay? You're not just a regular person who could just be down here doing everyday busy work, regular mundane shit. Tell us more. Soul endorsed. You don't need applause to be valid, nor permission to take up space with your brilliance. The world doesn't need to catch up with your truth. You are your own irrevocable validation. So walk as if your worth is not up for negotiation, because it isn't. Never forget that the only approval that truly matters is your own. Mm. Pardon the past. You've constructed a wall of stone, keeping you from being vulnerable and opening fully to love. These rocks of resentment cause blockages, habitual holds that keep you from reaching greater heights. While it may seem justified, consider who withholding forgiveness actually hurts. You're not here to hold grudges, so take the necessary steps to move forward with your life. Give me one more, spirit. Uncaged voice. Let sound set you free. Sing, chant, groan, wail. Liberate the noises buried beneath your silence. This isn't about melody, it's about medicine. Feel the release as the vibration of your voice cracks open what's been clenched. Let the sound move through you, primal and raw. Scream if you need, moan if you must. Listen to the stillness that follows. That quiet is your truth echoing back. Speak it, sing it, set it free. I just heard that somebody needs to go to a rage room. Okay. There's some sort of pent up um energy, and it needs to be let out. It needs to be let out. Someone may need to go to a rage room, or again, I don't know. There's a couple different ways you can let sound out, whatever way works for you. Um, but letting out that energy, okay? Letting out that energy. All right, collective, this has been the message. I hope that this brought someone some confirmation and clarity. Please do not hesitate to let your girl know in the comments how this message reverberated for you. I appreciate all of your support always, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace, family.